In this video, there will be a detailed guide for beginners on how the futures terminal on the Binance exchange works. Attention, in this video I will not explain what futures are. I have a separate course about what trading and futures are. It's free, there are two incredibly detailed videos, you can find the link to them in the description under this video. Today this will specifically be a video overview of how the futures terminal works on the Binance exchange. And if you don't have an account on the Binance exchange, I recommend using the link in the description. This is my bonus link. By registering through it, you can receive rewards as well as the best discounts on trading fees on the exchange. So to begin, since in previous lessons we deposited USDC, we need to exchange USDC for USDT because at the moment there are more trading pairs available in USDT on futures. For this, in the spot wallet, go to USDC, tap Convert USDC to other crypto. At the bottom, select Convert to USDT, maximum, preview conversion, convert. Great, we converted it. Now we need to transfer our USDT to the futures wallet, because if your funds are in any other wallet such as funding or earn, you won't be able to trade futures. For this, tap transfer. At the top, select spot or the wallet where your USDT is. At the bottom, select USDM futures. A bit later, I will explain what this is and how it differs from CoinM. Select the coin, in our case USDT. Tap maximum. Confirm transfer. Now at the bottom, go to the futures tab. As you can see, the funds have arrived. I have $51 available for trading. Now let's go from top to bottom to understand what the futures terminal is and how it works. So at the top, you can choose which futures you want to trade. Binance has several types, you need to know how USDM works, but I will also explain what CoinM is. So USDM is futures trading when you trade a coin against the stablecoin USDT or USDC. CoinM is when you trade a coin against a coin. For example, if you have a large amount of XRP on your balance and you want to open a long, you can do it in XRP, not USDT. There is a small downside to trading futures this way. It's that if you're trading coins, then when the price of the coin drops, the coin you are trading in also depreciates, and because of this, the liquidation price is much higher. Therefore, I recommend using CoinM only for those who have a large amount of coins, don't want to sell them, or want them simply to stay in their wallet. For example, you can open a trade with 1.5x or 1.8x leverage, then the liquidation price will be very low, and this is only for such cases. For all other speculative high-risk trades, I recommend opening USDM. Once again, USDM is trading coins against stablecoins. Let's go over. Below we can choose the specific coin we want to trade. There are countless options here. Under these, we have funding. As you can see, on Bitcoin, every 8 hours, this percentage will be deducted for keeping your trade open. It can be either negative or positive. That means that on some pairs you can even earn. When you hold them, sometimes the exchange will even pay you funding for holding these coins every 8 or 4 hours depending on the coin and the exchange. So keep in mind, these percentages are usually very small and you should pay attention to them only if you have large trades. Below this we see the futures order book. At the top in red are the current short orders. At the bottom are the current long orders, and in the middle is the average Bitcoin price. Under these we have 3 tabs. You need to know what position and order are. Position means your currently open positions. Open orders are long or short orders waiting to be executed but not yet filled. On the right we have the futures trading terminal. Let's go through it. First, there is this cross button. If you tap it, there are 2 margin modes. So, what's the difference? Cross means that every trade you open is backed by all the assets you have in your futures wallet. Accordingly, every asset in your wallet can serve as margin collateral. This way, your liquidation price can be pushed lower, but there is a downside. If, for example, there is a flash crash like that one on October 10, your entire futures wallet can be liquidated, even if you have only one trade. That's why for beginners, I recommend using isolated mode. This means that only the funds you allocate to the trade are used as collateral. To the right of this, you can choose the leverage for your trade, how much your deposit will be multiplied. Again, we explained this in more detail in a separate video about how futures work, link in the description. So, I do not recommend using more than 10x leverage if you are a beginner. Even farther to the right, we have the letter S. If you press it, this is the asset mode. What does this mean? There are two types, single and multi. Single means that if, for example, you have an open cross position, all the assets in your futures wallet are used to maintain the margin of your open trade. So, if you have single asset, as you can see here, the Tether logo, it means that if you have an open trade in USDT, that all the USDT in your futures wallet are used as a collateral for that trade. But if you select multi-asset mode, it means that for collateral, even for a trade opened in USDT, absolutely all assets in your futures wallet are used, even if they are, for example, crypto coins and not stable coins. I recommend using single asset mode. Below this, we have the available balance, which is currently open for trading on the exchange. You can also top up it or simply make a transfer. Under these, we have the type of trade you want to open, meaning the order type. There are countless options here, but as a beginner, you need to know only two: limit order and market order. And I also have a separate video that explains how each of these order works. Let's start with market order. As you can see, Binance even explains how it works. So, as you already know, a market order is buying a cryptocurrency or opening a futures trade at the current market price, meaning the price that is right here in the middle of the futures order book. Below this, you enter the amount of Bitcoin you want to buy. I recommend switching BTC to USDT order size, since that makes calculation easier. Below this, you can also immediately set a take profit and stop loss you want to use when opening the trade. We will not do that. We'll show you how to edit them directly in the open trade. Also below, these are two buttons: buy long and sell short. Let's, for example, open a futures trade for 200 USDT. At market price. As you can see, it will cost me $34 for my own wallet. We press buy long. Confirm. Below, our open trade has appeared. Now let's look at how to manage an already open trade and what it actually includes, what information we have. We see which asset we opened, which leverage we used. Below this, we see P&L, meaning your unrealized profit or loss. On the right, we see ROI, meaning return on investment for this specific trade. Below, we see size USDT. This is the size of the trade, including leverage. In the middle, we see margin. This is specifically our margin that participated in the trade, your own capital. Even farther to the right, we have margin rate here. You can expand it, and here Binance perfectly describes what it is. It says the lower the margin ratio, the lower your liquidation level will be relative to your position size. I do not recommend paying much attention to these. It actually doesn't reflect any real effectiveness. Also, below this we have entry price, the price at which we enter the trade, mark price, the current price, and liquidation price, the price at which your trade will be liquidated if the price drops to that level. What do you need to know specifically in an open order and how can you manage it? First, next to margin, you have a plus sign. If you click it in isolated margin, you can add or remove your margin to push your liquidation farther away. For example, I can type $10 into my trade, and as you can see, my liquidation was at $69,000 and now it's at $64,000 if I press confirm. This is made to further secure or hedge your trade. Also, below this, you have TPSL, meaning you can directly add a target point or stop loss inside the trade. How does this work? You indicate the price at which you want your trade to automatically close in case of some profit or loss. For example, if I write $110,000 here and select 100%, we see that upon reaching this level, I can activate a take profit order that will automatically close my trade and I will earn $47.84. Confirm. You can set a stop loss in the exact same way. And everyone's favorite button in the top right, these three little circles, if you press it, you can share information about your position, which traders love to do. Now we have the close button on the bottom right. If you press it, you can close your trade either halfway or fully. By dragging the slider, you can choose what portion of the trade you want to close. For example, let's close 100% and press confirm. After that, you can even go to the history icon on the right, open the positions history section, and here the full history of your trades will be saved. When you open it, closed, and how much you earned. You see that I earned 14 cents on it. Let's go back. A limit order works approximately the same. You indicate the price at which you want to open a position. For example, I select limit order and specify that I want to open a long on Bitcoin when its price reaches $86,000. Select the amount I want to allocate, for example, 200 USDT. Press buy long, confirm. As you can see, I don't have a position below because I only created an order to open a position. I can go to the open orders tab and below you see the information that I have an active order. Here, by clicking the pencil, you can edit the price. For example, if you changed your mind and want your Bitcoin trade to open when it reaches $84,000, you can change it here. If you want to cancel it because you changed your mind, press cancel and the order closes. That's basically everything you need to know about the futures trading terminal on Binance. If you have any issues with registration, verification, deposits, or spot trading, we have a separate playlist on the channel showing how each tool on Binance works. Thank you all and goodbye.